This video is going to be a tutorial on how to do what I like to call the U 2.0 protocol when it comes to goal making. So basically, it's a way of setting goals that's more identity focused, and it's focused on becoming the 2.0 version of yourself, the better version of yourself from your current self, who you are right now. So first of all, I personally went through this transformation. The left side is like me 6 months ago. The right side is me right now. That was like roughly like 2 weeks ago. I put on a lot more muscle mass. I've gotten a lot better, more disciplined. I've gotten like 5,000 subscribers. So I've gone through this transformation myself. This is something I do for myself. And partially the reason I wanted to make this video is to actually renew my own 2.0 protocol. So I'll be doing it along with you guys. This video is going to be a follow along type guide. But before we actually get into making it, what the hell will you get from this video? You'll learn how to make your own identity-based goals. And the reason they're way better than regular goals is because regular goals chase success or material things, right? You can think, I want to make maybe 10K a month. I want a Lamborghini. I want a girlfriend. Those are like regular goals, right? Goals most people would set. The thing about identity-based goals is you are chasing the values that will naturally attract success. So you're not chasing 10K a month. You're chasing the ability, the value to be able to deep work and to have a lot of focus. You're not chasing a girlfriend. You're chasing the value of being incredibly social and incredibly attractive. Right? And once you have those values, the success naturally attracts to, it's like the law of attraction, right? So once you are the better version of yourself, that version of yourself with those values, the success naturally comes in. And also, this video is going to teach you more about yourself simply because you're going to be doing a lot of self-analyzation in this video, analyzing where you are right now, because that's really important to understand what vehicles, what methods you're going to take to become that better version of yourself. And also, if you follow along and you do this video correctly, you're going to set the right direction for yourself for the entire next year, for however long you want to use this protocol. You want these goals to last. Usually I renew my goals every 6 months or every year. So yeah, what does changing your identity actually do? The number one benefit to changing your identity is that it automates good habits. Now, it's only 3 words, right? But this is like way bigger than you think it is. The way I like to explain it, and the way I explained it in the video that is a precursor to this video. So I made a video called, if you're struggling to change your identity, watch this. You can watch that right now if you want to, but honestly, you don't have to. I'm going to explain it here as well. So what does automating your good habits mean? Basically, before you change your identity, it always takes discipline or willpower to keep up the good habits, right? It will take discipline to go to the gym because you don't see yourself, your identity right now, what you identify as is someone who doesn't go to the gym, who requires discipline and willpower to go to the gym. It's something that is outside of your current identity. When your identity shifts from a person who doesn't go to the gym to a person who goes to the gym consistently, it stops requiring discipline and willpower. It becomes a simple fact of your life. It's something that you do regardless of any outside circumstances. And that makes you incredibly consistent. It also, automates it, right? So it's not something you have to worry about in your life anymore. Basically, changing your identity is permanent progress. And I'm speaking this for myself because I used to go to the gym and it would take me so much discipline, so much willpower just to go a single time. But the more I went, the more I changed my identity. And right now I have the identity of a person who just, I never miss the gym. And so the gym is just a fact of my life. It was something that used to take discipline and willpower, something that I used to have like a whole routine for. Now is automatic. It's something that I do regardless of the circumstances. I was just in Hawaii 2 weeks ago. I was still doing like push-ups in the morning because I wanted to still hit the gym. And secondly, like what I said before, if you change your identity, you're going to naturally attract the success anyways, right? So you could set the goal. You could set the goal to get a girlfriend, or you could set the goal to become so charismatic and so friendly that naturally you're going to attract a girlfriend anyways. And even if you don't, you still have the benefit of becoming more charismatic and more friendly, right? One thing that I really think that identity-based goals are really good at is they're really good at targeting the core issue. So for example, if I want to get a girlfriend, I naturally have to become more charismatic and more friendly anyways, right? That's something that I have to do anyways to probably get a girlfriend. But instead of just tackling like the reward, you tackle specifically the stuff that's going to get you the reward. So that's what I think the main benefit of identity-based goals are. It's Really, really good. Bro, if you need more reasons, go watch my other video. I made a bunch of other reasons, right? We're gonna start off with a new version of yourself. So the 2.0 version. This is the best version of yourself. This is everything that you want to be. And you're gonna write down all the qualities that you think he is. So for me, and I want to give you a reminder, I'm going to do this with you, right? And by the way, you should have a Notion open or Google Docs or something, maybe a piece of paper. Like if you write it on a piece of paper, that's even better. But you should have something and you should be following along in this video. So write down the 1.0 version of yourself and the 2.0 version of yourself. Under the 2.0 version of yourself, we're going to start with the who you want to be, because I found that's usually easier than defining who you are right now, right? It's easier to define who you are right now because you have to do that in context of who you want to be. So, who do I want to be? And, right, the disclaimer that I want to say earlier is that I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing identity-based goals for like a year now. So, mine are going to be pretty advanced. They're not going to be that much more advanced than you think they are, but don't like just blindly copy me. Use mine as inspiration. Use mine to like help think of your own, but do not just blindly copy mine, okay? So, the 2.0 version of myself is someone with no social anxiety. What does this look like? This looks like he approaches everybody. And one tip I want to give you is to be really autistic and specific with the details. Don't just say the 2.0 version of myself is confident and then just leave it, right? Be really autistic and specific. Write down the specific scenarios you want your 2.0 version to like thrive in. You know what I mean? Okay, so no social anxiety. He approaches everybody and always has a smile on his face. Other people love talking to him, and he's not afraid of talking to girls. I'm gonna be pretty quick with mine, okay? Simply for the sake of the video, I can't like take a million years, but you should be a little fat. You should take yours like a little slower and put a lot more effort and thinking into yours. Because when you think about it, this is what is going to guide you for the next year of your life. So it's really important that it's not just like, you don't speed run this. You don't like, you know, you treat it with the respect that it deserves because it's your directionality. It's your compass for the rest of the year. Okay, so these are some of the values that the 2.0 version of myself has. He has no social anxiety. He approaches everybody. People love talking to him. And especially he's not afraid of talking to girls. Okay, it's something natural to him. The second one, the 2.0 version of myself is someone who has accomplished perfect deep work, who's able to focus for really long hours every day, and he's able to quickly get into a deep work block, and it's difficult to get him out of focus, right? So you can see the difference, right? I could have just wrote more focus, and that would have been good. You know what? That would have been good, and it's still better than saying like, oh, I want 10K a month, right? But the difference between more focus and perfect deep work is that perfect deep work is a lot more specific towards my calendar and the specific deep work blocks that I set up. And when it's more specific, it's also more tangible and it's more real. It's more set and grounded in reality. You have a greater, you like know what it looks like more in your actual day. Because more focus, like what does that actually mean? How does that actually apply in my day-to-day? Perfect deep work, oh, I know what that means. During a deep work block, I'm just gonna try and be more, locked in and try and not give into distractions as much. Hyper optimize his day. So that's basically just being like always follows his schedule. Right? I follow my schedule down the very last minute. I virtually worship my schedule. Lastly, I never do any bad habits. I never scroll. Right now, I still scroll every now and then. I'm not, you know, like as we all do, right? And I only play one Stardew Valley day a day. That's like my vice. My one vice is I get to play one day of Stardew Valley. That's like 20 minutes. Okay, so now you can write down the 1.0 version of yourself, right? And the reason we did the 2.0 version first is because now we can write down who you are right now. We can identify who you are right now in the context of the 2.0 version of yourself. So for example, the 1.0 version of myself still has a little social anxiety. Probably not a little, probably a moderate amount. Still has a moderate amount of social anxiety, right? When I see someone I want to talk to, it takes a little bit of discipline. Like I need that little push, right? I need to be like, okay, let's go talk to them. Rather than it feeling fully natural. So perfect deep work. I often only accomplish 2 high quality deep work blocks in a day. I tend to lose focus. I tend to be distracted easily during a deep work block. Me right now. What the fuck? Me right now. I follow my schedule maybe 60% of the time. 40% of the time is spent doing things that I didn't schedule. Right, and this is how you know I'm being honest, right? I could have lied here and said, oh, I follow my schedule 90% of the time. I need to clinch that 10% of the time. This is how you know I'm being honest with you, okay? 40% of the time, I'm not doing stuff that I scheduled. You can see how when I identify who I am right now, it's always in context of the 2.0 version of myself, right? And you're gonna see in a second why we did the 2.0 version of ourselves and then the 1.0 version of ourselves in the context. That's because now we're gonna identify a few vehicles, right? When I say vehicles, that means like tools, tips, practical advice. That's gonna get us from the 1.0 version of ourselves to the 2.0 version of ourselves. So let's just start with this first one. The 1.0 version of myself still has a moderate amount of social anxiety. The 2.0 version of myself has no social anxiety. So we'll write that down here. So now we think to ourselves, right? We ask ourselves the habit question, what specific actions can I do repeatedly that will bring me from this 1.0 version of myself to the 2.0 version of myself? And the specific way you identity change. So I'm going to tell you some secret sauce. Here's how you actually change your identity. It's by constant repeated votes towards this new identity. So when you identify vehicles or tools, tips, practical advice, actions towards your new self, every single time you do those actions that you listed out, it makes you become I hate to use arbitrary numbers, right? But it makes you become 1% more like this 2.0 version of yourself. And eventually when you've done the action 100 times in a row consistently, that's when you eventually are this 2.0 version of yourself. That's not how it actually, that's how it works. But the numbers, I made up the numbers just so you can understand and get a sense, right? So what specific actions do I want to do? The first action is to talk to new people. But to be honest, I've been talking to new people. So let's be a little more specific. Talk to new people as soon as the thought arises to talk to new people. So this is designed to get rid of that small initial barrier I still have, right? Another thing is to talk to new people even when I don't want to. So right now, sometimes if I'm at the gym, I'm tired, maybe I slept poorly, and I'm just bro, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'll just not talk to anybody, okay? And I think it's kind of weird because I'll go from one day where I'm super social, I'm hyper social, I talk to 10 new people in the gym, and the next day I just got my earbuds in the whole time, and I'm just oh fuck, I'm tired, I don't want to talk to anyone, right? That's because it's not part of my identity yet. I'm the type of person who right now identifies as someone who, if I have to force myself to talk to new people. It still requires discipline, right? So in order to change that, my vehicle, a thing that I'm gonna start doing is to talk to new people even when I don't want to. So even when I'm tired or I think I look like shit or yeah. And then maybe the last thing I want to do, the last specific action. And you can see how all of these are kind of the new thing, right? All of these are kind of I could give them all an umbrella term and just be okay, talk to more people. But it's helpful to be specific and to imagine the specific scenarios that would occur when you're trying to become the best version of yourself. So the best version of myself talks to people who are hard to talk to simply for the challenge. So you know how some people look more approachable than others, right? Some people are they're smiling, they have a friendly face on. Sometimes some people even talk to you first, right? They'll say good morning, good afternoon. Those are people who are easy to talk to. But I want to talk to people who they got their earbuds in, they got their hood up or something, and they look like they don't want to talk to jack shit. I want to talk to those people simply for the challenge, simply to break past that barrier, to stop overthinking. Because as of right now, my brain will go you can't talk to that person, they got their hood up. You can't talk to that person, they look like they're locked in. You can't talk to that person, I think they're one of your friend's exes or some dumb shit, right? But simply stop overthinking and simply talk more, right? I want to get rid of that overthinking barrier. So that what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to people who are hard to talk to, who I have reasons not to talk to get over that overthinking barrier. And every single time I do one of these, right? Every single time I talk to new people even when I don't want to, every single time I talk to someone as soon as a thought arises, every single time I talk to someone who I think is hard to talk to, who doesn't look very approachable, that's 1 point, 1 vote, 1% earned towards the new identity of myself. Eventually, when I become the 2.0 version of myself, all of these become automatic. So when I become the 2.0 version of myself, I no longer have to think about talking to new people when I don't want to. I don't have to think about talking to new people as soon as the thought arises. I don't have to think about talking to people who are hard to talk to. It's something that becomes automatic. It's just the way I'm wired, right? It's just the way I am. So do this, identify the vehicles for all of these these transformations, right? Like these qualities that the new version of you has that the old version doesn't. I put my hand up and I started pointing, but I realized that like this isn't a video, this is a screen recording. So wow, I feel kind of stupid. But that's basically how you make identity-based goals. So to recap, right? You write down the qualities that you want the best version of yourself to have, the 2.0 version. You write down the qualities that your current self has, and you remember, be brutally honest and be really specific. And you write them specifically in the context of the 2.0 version of yourself. And then you use that transformation to identify some specific protocol, some actions that you're going to take that are going to bring you from your 1.0 version to your 2.0 version. This is how I think goal setting should be. This is how identity-based goal setting works. I've been doing this for a year. It's been hyper effective for me because it simplifies things, right? Instead of like having to overthink anything like, oh, how am I going to make 10K a month? How am I going to become the type of person who would know? How am I going to get a girlfriend? I'm just like, okay, I'll do this, this, and this. And eventually I know that if I set my goals right and I gave them the proper consideration they deserve, I know that as long as I keep doing these 3 things, I will get a girlfriend. I will achieve the success that I want, right? Success will be naturally attracted towards me. If you have any more questions or comments, leave them down below. If you haven't watched my identity video, I highly recommend you watch it. Cause bro, like these two go hand in hand, right? Like the other reason was like the why you should change your identity. This one is like the how you should change your identity. So this is the practical guide. Remember, you should follow along. You should be doing this. Maybe I'll make a framework. You know, if you want me to make a framework, a little like thing that you can fill out that will help you with this, let me know. You can comment that as well. But other than that, I'm gonna keep working on this. Like my one, because this is a Notion space that I use specifically only for recording videos. I'm gonna go copy this and paste it into my actual Notion and like keep working on my own goals after this. Like you should as well, right? So after you watch this, make your own identity-based goals. Remember, these videos only work if you actually take action. If you like watch and listen to them. If you just like, if you wanted something to put in the background, you can go like put on some like dumbass Reddit stories or something. Okay, anyways, peace, ciao.